everyone, welcome back to Jikook Universe. Have you ever watched something that feels too calm to be called acting? Too natural to be labeled a script? And far too consistent to be dismissed as coincidence? Are you sure? It's not about destinations. It's not about hidden cameras or an ordinary trip captured on screen. It's about two people sharing the same space, without distance, without defenses, and without any need to prove anything to anyone. There are no grand confessions here. No dramatic declarations meant to shock or convince. What exists instead are repeated small touches, comfortable silences, lingering glances, and a closeness that feels honest. In this video, we won't talk about rumors. We won't twist clips out of context or force interpretations where they don't belong. We will simply look at what is actually shown: gestures, body language, word choices, and the quiet moments that somehow speak the loudest. Because when something is real, it doesn't shout. It stays. And it's felt. Every moment Jimin and Jungkook share in Are You Sure? Feels like a story that refuses to be forced. It isn't loud. It doesn't rely on obvious drama. And that is precisely where its strength lies. This relationship flows naturally, built from small gestures, unawkward silences, laughter that appears without prompting, and a closeness far too effortless to be reduced to mere entertainment. From the very first episode, it becomes clear that this show isn't simply about travel or checking off experiences. It's about them. About two people who genuinely know each other. Who feel safe together. Who share a connection that doesn't require an official announcement to be understood. From the opening minutes alone, Jungkook shows something deeply revealing. When he's with Jimin, his defenses disappear. His body instinctively moves closer, as if the cameras are nothing more than irrelevant background noise. His hands reach for Jimin without hesitation, resting on his legs, tracing his arms, lingering near his neck. These touches never feel staged. They're constant, spontaneous, almost unconscious. And there's only one reason someone behaves like that: because they feel safe. Because the person beside them feels like home, not something that needs to be kept at a distance. Jungkook is always trying to erase the physical space between them. No matter how large the room is or how wide the sofa, he inevitably ends up sitting right next to Jimin, pressed close, sharing the same space. As if, to him, that is simply the correct position. The most natural one. Someone who feels uncomfortable pulls away. They stiffen. They create boundaries. Jungkook does the opposite, again and again throughout the entire show. That's why the narratives circulating before the premiere now feel almost ironic. Some insisted Jungkook would look distant, uncomfortable, or even forced to be there. Others claimed Jimin made him do Are You Sure? As if Jungkook had no agency of his own. Those assumptions collapse within the very first episode, when it's revealed that Jungkook himself proposed the show. He didn't just agree. He was enthusiastic. He was involved. He was creative. The concept of filming without knowing exactly when the cameras were rolling, capturing raw, honest reactions, came from Jungkook. And the quiet satisfaction on his face when the idea was accepted is powerful proof. He was there by choice. No coercion. No tension. Just the relaxed smile of someone who feels heard. As the episodes progress, that comfort doesn't fade. It deepens. Jungkook becomes calmer. Softer. Closer to Jimin. And when that reality becomes impossible to deny, discomfort sets in, for those unwilling to see it. Scenes begin to be dissected in bad faith. Context is cut. Single sentences are pulled apart and twisted to preserve old narratives. The clearest example is the moment Jungkook jokingly refers to everything as business. Watched in full, the scene is unmistakably playful, filled with laughter and knowing glances. There is no coldness, no distance. And yet, that single word is treated as a serious declaration, while the body language tells a completely different story. Because even as he says it, Jungkook doesn't let go of Jimin's hand. When Jimin tries to pull away while laughing, Jungkook tightens his grip. He smiles. He keeps the joke going. If he were setting a boundary, touch would be the first thing to disappear. Instead, it becomes firmer. When that narrative fails, another appears. That Jungkook isn't brave, that he's easily manipulated, that his happiness is an act. But happiness like this cannot be faked. You cannot sustain comfort this calm. Smiles this effortless. Closeness that exists even in silence, when there is no pressure to perform. All of these theories fall apart completely when they talk about the future of Are You Sure? Calmly and clearly they say it isn't over. They'll return. They'll travel together again. Jungkook mentions Busan, his hometown heavy with meaning. Jimin mentions the North Pole, a dream that sounds impossible yet full of wonder. Two different destinations united by the same desire, to continue experiencing the world together. And that's where their greatest strength lies. They don't defend themselves. They don't explain. They simply exist, warm, supportive, playful, comfortable, and real. The bed scene, still talked about to this day, is one of those moments that refuses to fade with time. The more you watch it, the more layers reveal themselves. A small gesture, a subtle camera angle, an intention that becomes clearer with every rewatch. One crucial detail stands out, a single word deliberately shown by the editor. Someone obsessed with their hyung. Its placement is no accident. Jimin lies relaxed, scrolling through his phone. Jungkook moves closer, without hesitation, without measuring distance. He climbs on top of Jimin as if it's the most reasonable position in the world. There is no rejection. No tension. Only acceptance that feels routine. This season also reveals another pattern that's increasingly impossible to ignore. The way Jungkook calls Jimin without honorifics. Not once. Repeatedly. In Korean culture that choice is never meaningless. And Jimin never corrects him. There's no awkwardness. Only quiet acceptance. This isn't theory. This is language. This is culture. This is repetition. And when something repeats itself over and over, it stops being coincidence. It becomes a message. Fortuitous. Intimate. Consistent. After every erased distance, every lingering touch, every laugh that comes without obligation, one truth becomes undeniable. A relationship like this does not need defending. It doesn't survive on theories. It exists in comfort. In silences that never feel empty. Are you sure? Doesn't give us explicit answers. And perhaps it never needed to. What it offers instead is something far more honest. Space to see, to feel, and to understand without being forced to conclude anything. If you feel it, you know. If you see the pattern, you understand. And if you choose to deny it, that too is a choice. Thank you for watching Jikook Universe. If you enjoy analyses like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so we can continue talking about the small moments that are often dismissed as trivial when in fact they mean the most. See you in the next moment. Dizzy.